Hello everyone and welcome back to 80s Allies. I'm Larry and that's Jim, and if you're here we give you enough cord to hang yourself with.
You know, I just want to say how amazing I look for once because I have a new chair. I have a new chair this week. I have a new chair. And I am now taller than you because of the chair you're in.
You're welcome.
This is the only time in my life I've ever been tall. I really appreciate that.
I got a new cord.
I can see that.
Jim's cord, my cord.
Size queen. So, you know, this is our first, like, real episode back now since the, since all the nonsense and the brouhaha. So what have you been doing? Like, what have you been, like, while you're, you know, like, all, you know?
Well, while I've been here, I've been working on computer programs.
Oh, that's good.
I'm not as computer efficient as most of those people out there.
Right,
I
yeah.
mean, I'm making the transition from schoolwork to computer work, looking into computer programs to enhance this show.
He's old, is what he's trying to say.
Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying. And now I've got 26-year-olds showing me how to use programs that I didn't know how to use, and now I'm using them properly.
That's fantastic. That's absolutely fantastic.
You've got to humble yourself. These younger kids, they know a little bit more than you do.
You do. I have not been near as productive, I suppose.
Well, we're not talking about the 3 weeks I spent organizing my magic cards and the 2 weeks I spent organizing my music either.
Oh, well, okay, in that case. No, I was actually working on some toys here. Now, for those of you who may have liked us on Facebook and tuned in to a live video that I did, you know that I was working on some old toys here. And so I just thought I'd show them off here. As you know, if you've watched the previous episode, we reflocked and rescended Moss Man. Well, I just thought that if I was going to go that far, I needed to rescent Stinkor, and that has been done now. And he smells oh so much like 1985. Isn't that?
Yep, burning tires and...
Isn't that wonderful?
Ass.
He did not... You're awful. So, but in any case, this is my childhood Stinkor, and he smells again. If you are with us on Facebook, go back and check that video out, and I explain how I did it. It's very, very cool, and he smells, and he's wonderful, and he sits right alongside Mossman at home. But another thing that I did was I actually took this slime pit here.
No, you're not going to put the slime in there today, are you?
No, okay. I'm not going to go through that. But what I did do is this, of course, this is the original container that came with the slime pit. The slime came in, and of course, slime that old is long since dried up, guys.
Yes.
But now... Oh, there is slime in there.
And what I really, really like, and this is why I got the extra camera so we can do the hoo-ha, the flim flam, and the tomfoolery, is there's a picture of Hordak on the top of the lid.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
I don't know if you can see or not. Hopefully we can get a picture of that post.
Well, we can.
That is a humdinger.
It is.
I mean, that really shows the difference. Now, what other toys use slime?
There's quite a few back from that time period.
Ghostbusters, Ninja Turtles,
Masters of the Universe. Gosh, there are others. I'm just blanking on them right now. But there's
Ghostbusters and Ninja Turtles are the closest ones I can come up with as far as slime goes.
Yeah, slime was a component of a lot of toys then and now, as a matter of fact. And now it's not just boy toys that have slime. In modern day, there's a lot of toys aimed at girls that have slime in them too. So,
well,
but the neat part about this, and the reason I wanted to bring this up on the show, is I know we have a lot of Motu fans out there that are watching this that might have a slime pit. And one of the biggest problems with replacing the slime with this is that slime comes in all sorts of different consistencies. And I've seen a lot of people online that try to put slime in this container and use it and find that the slime is too thick and it doesn't seem to want to work.
I found slime at Cracker Barrel.
Yeah, I mean, there's different places you can find it, but the thing that I found... And
look at that, Juggo slime.
This is the original container that it comes in. This is Zuru Oosh Glowing Slime. I picked this up at Walmart, and it is available on their website if you go there and look for it. And it seems to be this perfect consistency where it oozes right out of the head the way it's supposed to and covers the figure. Again, if you watch that video, you can see it.
Oh, not that kind of gloppy slurry.
Right, it does what it's supposed to do. So I highly recommend if you're trying to make your slime pit whole again by using slime that was good to the period. This will get it done for you. And this consistency is also what you would want if you have a mad scientist dissect an alien. It was the same type of stuff. And that slime did glow back in the day, so you definitely want this.
Okay, 2 things we need to do before we wrap this up. Stinkor needs to get a win.
Oh, of course.
Stinkor needs to go over.
Well, hang on. We'll just.
So,
he's
what you doing, brother?
Oh! 1, 2, 3, and with that, Hogan defeated. We didn't do it on the last podcast, so we definitely had to do it.
We definitely had to do it now, and I'm sure the fans want to see how this works properly. So, well, let me tell you something.
No, I'm not going to pull the slime out today.
No, not the slime, but
the little gimmick.
Yeah, the gimmick. Do the gimmick.
So what happens is this thing comes up and
brother, no,
and grabs the.
Oh my goodness, dude! If you turn that around,
it looks great.
It looks amazing.
And then you put the slime in the head here, and it tips forward, and it oozes out all over the figure, and turns them into a slime zombie.
Not saying that Hoagie wasn't a slime zombie to begin with. No. But on that note, we're going to take a break and we'll be right back.
Gentlemen, looking for a classic haircut or shave in the Carlisle area? Stop into Big Daddy's Barbershop and Shave Parlor and experience that old-time feel you've been missing. Get a straight razor shave, haircut, or facial massage, or, hey, spoil yourself and get all 3. We're located at 1548 Spring Road in Carlisle, right beside Brad's Pizza, and appointments are never needed. Spend some time in a true man zone and relive the shops of yesteryear amongst the modern-day hustle and bustle at Big Daddy's Barbershop. Find us on Facebook or visit our website at www.bigdaddysbarbershop.com.
Welcome back to the 80s Allies. Now, today's topic is something kind of near and dear to us because we've been sitting and debating, and we haven't figured out who the second banana is. Is Jim my sidekick? Am I his sidekick? Are we each other's sidekicks? Are we both in charge?
It's a tough call.
It is a tough call, but what this eventually led us to think is take our favorite franchises, our G.I. Joes, our Ghostbusters, our Transformers, our Voltrons.
Yeah.
There was always a second banana, or a second in command. The good guy had a second in command for the good guy. A bad guy had a second in command for a bad guy. And we decided, leave in the comments below, what were some of your favorite sidekicks? Because we're gonna, I guess we wouldn't call them sidekicks, would we?
It's a second banana, maybe?
The second in command is the
something
best
like that. I guess it
with.
depends on what the franchise was. Obviously, if you're talking something that had to do with war or some kind of battle or whatever, the second in command makes a lot of sense. If it's, was it the Dog Wonder to Blue Falcon? I suppose it's a different scenario.
And it's also different when it comes to the good guys and the bad guys, because the good guys, there was a second in command. The bad guys, they'd have the first underling.
Well,
or the first henchman or something along those.
When I was thinking of the names that came to mind, and in some shows it wasn't near as clear or as clearly defined as you would think. Like, I felt that with He-Man, Skeletor had, you could arguably Beastman.
Beastman, hands down.
But also arguably Evil Lyn.
See, and that's kind of where I tripped up too, because in G.I. Joe...
Is it the Baroness, or is it...
Well, it's clearly Destro, but not on the Joe side. On the Joe side, you have Duke, and then you either have Flint, or you have Scarlet.
Yeah. And then in Transformers, it's sort of the same, because at the beginning of the show, is it Ironhide, is it Prowl, is it Jazz? Any one of them, depending on the episode you're watching, you could have an argument. But when it really becomes clear who the second in command is when you actually get to the 86 movie, and Prime labels Ultra Magnus when he passes the Matrix to him. So I think, in terms of labeling that second in command or whatever, I don't think it was ever done any more clearly or clearly defined as it was right then and there. Because from that point on, in the Transformers franchise, Magnus has been used a lot as the second in command.
And then as years have gone on, that transition happened again to a fan favorite with Bumblebee, because Bumblebee took the seat of second command in the Transformers movie franchise. And
I don't think not necessarily in the Bayformers one, and I'm not sure where he ranks in the Bumblebee movie, because I think in
the more recent cartoon he leads.
The cartoon.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I thought you were talking about the actual film stuff there, but
not the '86 film. But yeah, I mean, you start seeing the lines blurred with Bumblebee because there was a lot of attention focused on him real early in the cartoon.
Well, what happened, and Dan Gilvezan, who played the voice of Bumblebee back in the early days, in '84 and through that G1 series, he does say that his job was to make Bumblebee sort of the young boy.
The kid.
You know what I mean? Yeah, that was supposed to be the vehicle through which kids kind of got into the show or whatever.
Yeah, the rookie. Everybody uses that rookie. But we're not talking about
no,
rookies
we're not talking about rookies today. But that was his role there.
Which is fine because we've all been rookies. If you haven't been a rookie, you haven't been trying.
Now, I will say that in we mentioned He-Man, but in She-Ra, I felt that the villain's second in command was a lot more well defined. I thought that Shadow Weaver. There's no question that those two are that it's Hordak and Shadow Weaver. Mm-hmm. The only question I always had is, do you think there was like a little?
It gets lonely up there.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Granted, she floated off the ground, but still.
Well, one of the most clearly defined second in commands and second bananas is going back to the Transformers franchise, and that's in Starscream.
Oh, without a doubt,
yes. You
yes.
can't make a clearer definition of what a second in command is than Starscream. And what made Starscream so great was he knew he was in second in command.
You know what? I don't know that he was. I will go this far because he was certainly the Decepticon Air Commander, but I would argue that it was his delusions of grandeur and his desire to lead that made us sort of believe he was second in command, but oftentimes it was Shockwave or Soundwave that Megatron would entrust.
Now, I would agree with you there. As far as, Soundwave was probably his most dedicated follower, and Shockwave was just a badass because, Shockwave.
Well, Shockwave's that evil scientist.
Oh, I love
like that.
It's my favorite Transformer.
Yeah.
Next to Grimlock. But when it came down to it, what made me lead to Starscream is anytime that Megatron transformed, the operator of Megatron was Starscream.
Most of the time, yeah.
So, guilty by association, if you read.
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah, it's kind of funny when you think about it that they had such a hate relationship. Yet when he transforms, it's Starscream that wields him. That doesn't.
Yeah. Well, they hate each other, but they hate the Autobots even more.
I guess.
So
yeah,
I guess their hate for their Autobots overrode any predispositions that they had towards each other.
It's like, I hate you right now, but I'm going to use you. Yeah. That's amazing. I always liked. I really, I looked through this list, and I guess Man-at-Arms would be for He-Man.
I would say safely, and with having Teela as Man-at-Arms' daughter, it definitely assisted. Now, eventually, we're going to have to work on other crew members that assisted the team down the run. But I don't know how familiar you are with the GoBots franchise, but Turbo was second in command to Leader 1.
Yeah, and then there are those shows where it's not really defined at all, like Mask, for instance,
or
really
Ghostbusters.
Ghostbusters. There never was really you knew Matt Tracker was a leader in Mask, but beyond that, there really wasn't a designation of who would be next in command or anything.
Or Ninja Turtles. Now, one thing that one of the beautiful things about Ninja Turtles is, you always knew that Leonardo was the leader, but then you got to choose, who was the second in command that day. Some would argue it was Raphael, some would say it was Donatello, nobody would say it was Michelangelo. It was all mission-oriented. And then with the Ghostbusters, it almost felt like they each had an equal shake.
Well,
and you related to your favorite.
In the original source material, they had an equal stand.
Yeah.
So I think that made sense when it came to the real Ghostbusters cartoon, that it made sense that they were on an equal playing field.
I mean, because clearly the best Ghostbuster was Peter Venkman.
Egon.
Now you know the personalities of who we relate to, Peter Venkman. They both were in the Army in stripes.
True. So one of the other big things about that second in command, it's like were they an antagonist or are they actually helping their leader?
Well, let's look at Destro.
Yeah.
Destro is a prime example.
Yeah.
I mean, because he knew that his leader, Cobra Commander, was a buffoon. And I found a new phrase for him, Coco. I learned that.
Yes, Coco.
I learned that this week. We got Coco, and it was like, what the hell is it?
Shout out to the folks at Eternia Dreams for that one.
For that one. It was like, Coco, Cobra Commander. Oh, that's brilliant. Why didn't I think of that?
I know. I felt a little salty about that we hadn't thought of that.
We didn't think about that one.
Yeah.
But Destro was Cobra Commander's arms dealer.
Yeah.
So, there was kind of a resentment of having to work with the guy and having to listen to the guy, but the guy was buying your stuff.
There you go. Starscream we've talked about at length, and clearly. And I will say this, of all of them, Starscream is the one I was really happy to talk about, because at the end of the day, I thought that relationship had the best payoff.
Yes.
Of any of them.
Yes, it did.
Between him throwing, Megatron saying, "I still function," and him throwing him out of Astrotrain, and then completely out of left field comes back as Galvatron and just smokes his ass right there. That is just fantastic film. It was very well written, and for as much as the writers in Transformers killed us when they killed Optimus Prime, they gave us that
payoff.
Yeah, that incredible payoff of Starscream getting his comeuppance in a way that was just glorious.
Yes, it was.
Yeah, so that relationship of all of them is the one that I love the most, because of the way the story went and how it did have a beginning, middle, and end with them.
Well, what I think is also interesting is you see, I don't know how much Starscream held weight in the Transformers in the beginning. Like, they come up with a couple of characters and they're like, okay, these are the good guys, these are the bad guys.
He was always, from the first episode, he was trying to be the leader.
Okay.
Yeah, there was that. I will say the Transformers characters were always extremely well defined. To the point where there was never a question who they were or what their motivations were or anything. So yeah, right from episode 1, right from More Than Meets the Eye Part 1, Starscream's doing his duty.
Well, then that's like Destro and G.I. Joe.
Mm-hmm.
But you kind of have to relate, like,
same creative minds.
It is
involved in those two properties. So yeah.
But when you look at a property like not Voltron, because Lance was Keith's second in command. The Red Lion was always second in command when it came to Voltron.
I didn't know that, actually. Okay.
Because he was the sword bearer.
Oh, yeah, okay, that makes sense.
So the sword bearer is always second in command.
Yeah.
See, you can even check it out back
there.
Yeah,
no, I am checking it out back there. I see that, yeah.
And then it just kind of, it goes around in a clock.
Mm-hmm.
Or I think it goes around. Yeah, it goes in reverse. It goes counterclockwise. Second in command, third in command, fourth in command, fifth in command. Because you wouldn't want to put Pidge in charge of anything.
No.
But
he was up there with the Orko.
Yeah. No, he was the technical. He made all the gizmos work. He did all the technical stuff. No. You and your boss man will be out on your fat asses.
What? I believe you said that to me. So yeah, no,
Well, hey, I have no ass. So what are you complaining about?
Well,
I mean, it's a straight line from my shoulders to my ankles. I mean, what am I supposed to do?
So who is your favorite second in command?
My favorite second in command would. I was debating on that. I would have to go with Flint.
Okay.
Flint would have to be my favorite second in command, and I'll tell you why. One, he got to go home with Lady J. That was always a plus. He was a warrant officer in the Army, and that was the same rank my father held when he was in the Army, was warrant officer. So instantly relatable. I mean, he was just a badass. He was a ranger, tabbed out. He could do this, that, and the other thing. Ran, jump, and climb trees. And he was relatable to me because I wasn't blonde. I mean, if I was blonde, I'd probably root for Duke.
Makes sense.
He's not my favorite G.I. Joe. by far, my favorite GI, my sentimental favorite is Steeler, the tank driver, and then it's like Chuckles and Roadblock.
Right, but for as far as second in command,
that's your guy. He would have to be my guy because of all the times that Duke got captured, Flint went to go save his ass.
See, I loved Ultra Magnus. And I will tell you that even though I loved him way back when, the IDW Ultra Magnus in like the More Than Meets the Eye comics.
Oh, he's just downright
just phenomenal. It's phenomenally written. It's a great character. I love how he interacts with the others. There's such a sense of importance and pride to the character, and yet because of that, there is such great comic relief.
Yeah.
In his interaction with like Whirl and some of the other bots that I absolutely love the character.
Well, what they did with Ultra Magnus, if you're not familiar, and correct me if I'm wrong, which you normally do. You have the relationship of Optimus Prime, who is the soft master, who's like, oh, everything's okay, everything's great, and then on the reverse you have Ultra Magnus that's putting boot to ass.
Yeah, Magnus is pretty intense. Yeah, Magnus has his set of rules, and this is the way it needs to be, and he cracked a smile once, hated it.
Yeah,
it's sort of the character.
It's just kind of who he is.
And I get a kick out of him. I absolutely love that character. It's just really, really a well-designed character and well thought out. And I loved him way back when because I was a huge Unsolved Mysteries fan, and he was voiced by
Robert Stack.
He was voiced by Robert Stack, so you're sort of like, oh yeah, it was just he had such a gravitas to his voice and everything. It really made the character.
See, now I'm really thinking of other second-in-commands, because you do have the concept of teams, and there is that team network, and you're wondering, like, who's going to be in charge of the team. It was more fleshed out of who second-in-command was in the bad guy side.
Usually,
if you would think, because in GI,
there was a much better hierarchy defined, and maybe that was by design when you think about it, because all of the evil characters, they were trying to be the leader of the world. You know what I mean? They were trying to be this dominator. So there was certainly a much better defined, hierarchy. Whereas with the good guys, it was more about the goal, and not so much who was in charge.
Because we haven't even discussed Beastman yet. In the role that, we did a little bit, but the role that Beastman played Skeletor.
Yeah, I always felt Beastman was second in command in sort of the way Igor.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't that he was really second in command in so much as he was just sort of the whipping boy.
He was.
And it was...
He was first buffoon.
Yeah, whereas Evelyn sort of, obviously, and again, with Skeletor and Evelyn, you always kind of...
Well, they always tease that. Baroness and Destro, they made it open in the second series where they're standing there making out with each other. It's like,
I knew it!
That's what's going on.
I absolutely knew it. There's no question at all. Yeah, no, it was, that's just fantastic. But anyway, that it is. The second Bananas, and they were everywhere in the 80s, and they were great characters, and
they were some of the best fleshed out characters too.
Absolutely.
Their motivations and what drove them, and
complex characters.
They were,
and we remember them because of it. And I'll tell you what we're going to do now. We're going to go ahead and we're going to talk about our friends over at SSW and what they did recently with sort of no fans, but they still put on a show. We're going to show you all about it. We'll be back. I just wanted to show you my new notebook.
Oh, what do we got
beautiful?
Going on
Look,
there?
I've got a wacky package on here. Some scratch and sniff stickers. I'm very proud of my little notebook.
Oh, that's nice.
Isn't it wonderful?
That is.
Folks, we recently we were at Eternia Dreams. Now, Eternia Dreams is a collectible toy store in Taneytown, Maryland, folks, and I don't want to go into too much detail because you're going to see it when we actually edit it together and put it out there. But we were there for what was the largest auction of G.I. Joe toys that we could find on record. We went down with the idea of documenting it for the community. But what we got was so much more.
What we found there was this really unique family community that was it was like Eternia Dreams was the beacon for all these people to come to all walks of life and celebrate with each other the fondness of the memories that they had, and then just unite over it.
Yeah.
One thing that I had never been so welcomed by a group of strangers in my entire life.
Me neither.
I mean, even in the wrestling business.
No,
they were happy to see me. This was different.
This was very, very unique, folks. And I will tell you, I'm putting in some pictures now so you can take a look at sort of the behind the scenes of what we were doing there. It was just a fantastic day. We were there for about 8 hours.
Wait, is that me on the riding Battle Cat?
No. I don't have a picture of that on there.
Okay.
But you heard that right, folks. So
I had a blast, dude. I can't. My mindset the entire time was, I used to have that. I remember that. This is awesome. I used to have that. I remember that, and this is awesome. Now picture that. Me in a toy store and dealing with that for 3.5 hours.
It's really a great place, and if you are anywhere local to us, I'm aware that as of the time of this video recording, the folks in Maryland have sort of lifted a lot of the restrictions, so I don't know exactly when Eternia Dreams is going to open, but you can find them on Facebook. Please look them up. Please like them. You want to see their auctions, guys. I'm telling you, great stuff going on all the time, and it's a great group of people. And soon enough, that video will be up for you to take a look at. And I'm going to tell you, it's a really neat video, and please watch it. You'll really enjoy it. But we wanted to just take a moment today to just send a special shout out and thank you to Carol, Steve, Chase, Caitlin, Will, Harmony, Jeremy, Adam, Alicia, and of course Alan, for being such gracious hosts, for allowing us into Eternia Dreams to film with you. We had such a great time. We hope to be back soon. Thank you so much for making us part of your little family. We had such a great time.
Yes, thank you. And in honor of Alan, I'm burping during the thank you.
Oh, well, I mean, whatever it takes. I think that should be in honor of Will, who made some of the best barbecue I ever had.
That was delicious.
It was just fantastic.
And if you do go to Eternia Dreams, ask for the Nacho Man.
Yes, there are some pictures in there.
Of Nacho?
Of all the tomfoolery and brouhaha.
Oh, it was amazing. Jim played cornhole for the very first time.
I failed miserably, yes.
And then we played this Frisbee game for the very first time.
The Frisbee game was okay.
We almost won.
Yeah, we did a little better with the Frisbee game than we did with the cornhole. But, the big news is you splurged a little bit while we were there.
Oh, that I did, sir.
Yeah.
I was... anytime I go to an auction or a toy store or a convention, I have a dollar limit that I'm allowed to spend, which I think it's fair. I've only gone over my dollar limit 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times, and they were all for comic books, and I only went over it by 120%. But that's okay, because it doesn't matter. But this time I stayed within that dollar limit because there were a couple of pieces that I was looking for. Now, 2 of the pieces that I was looking for, they weren't up for auction yet, and I wasn't going to go digging because that wouldn't be fair to Alan. But he did sell me a couple of pieces from the auction.
And we should stress that the pieces that you bought, there were tons of.
So
absolutely. We certainly didn't deny anybody the ability to get one.
No, they were full platoons of a tank, and a platoon has 4 tanks in a platoon. Now, one of the tanks that I got over here, oh, you can't see it, is your standard Hiss tank. Now, this is a classic piece.
It is.
As far as G.I. Joe and Cobra goes, because it's an iconic look. It's like they're airplanes.
Yeah.
I mean, you see that rolling down. That could be in any screenshot whatsoever.
You see them rolling, they hate me.
Oh, yes, absolutely. But that's not the piece I'm really excited about. The piece I'm really excited about is this. Now, this is a motorized tank, and one thing that I realized is the barrel shrinks down. It's because if it bounces into a wall, it can collapse in on itself. And if you notice, it's the turrets that's turning, not the upper piece. Now, it's incomplete, which is fine because it gives me something to chase. It came with an action figure named Steeler, which I've kind of given up on finding an original one because the original one cost more than the tank.
Are you serious? Wow.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
Well, it comes with a helmet, and his helmet has goggles, and he's got a grease gun with it. So they're a little hard to find pieces, and complete with Steeler is like...
You know, what's funny about this auction, folks, and believe me, keep watching Eternia Dreams because they have auctions all the time. They turn over merchandise like crazy. The prices were fantastic.
Oh, absolutely.
They really, really were, guys. Like, what he's saying, I mean, most of the figures we saw that day didn't go for that money.
No,
a lot
18,
of them were
20
very,
bucks.
A lot of them were very, very complete. So, again, check them out for prices. But, yeah, continue.
But what makes this very special is, if you look underneath, there's a battery pack.
There is.
Well, somebody put batteries in the battery pack. And somebody learned how this thing functioned.
Really?
Yeah.
And does it still function?
Well, you tell me.
Oh, but it does.
You can go forward. You can go backward.
What?
You can turn it to the side and have it turn. But yeah, the controlling mechanism is all up top.
Oh, no, I'm sorry I didn't buy one. Oh, that's cool. See, I wasn't a huge Joe fan when I was a kid, so I only had a few pieces.
Look at it go! Look at it go!
Oh, that's fantastic.
Look at it go! It just did up and it got caught on the table. But then it backs up, and I don't want to crash into the camera, so we're just going to let that down. But yeah, you move it forward to go forward, you move it back to go back, and then you put it in stationary position.
You know, really, you want to talk about a real American. That truly is representative of a real American, unlike somebody we know.
Unlike somebody we know. But
Yeah.
one of the reasons why I got this piece in particular is because I used to operate a tank. I know how to drive, load, and fire a tank. Can't say I'm very good at it right now because I haven't been on one in about 4 years, and even then, I still drove better than I load or fired one. But it's the driving part that's very important when it comes to this next piece. Because, of course, you know...
That guy.
This guy.
You know, where was the real American during the outbreak? I mean, you know, Sheiky Baby would have humbled the Roman.
Oh, yeah. Well, see, here's what I've learned about Hogan and tanks. You know, he can try to wrestle a tank all he wants to, but,
he's going to fail miserably here.
Oh,
no. Oh, my. Oh.
Hang on. They need to see it.
I'm going to back it up a little bit here then, I think, because I'm not sure they're seeing... Oh, Hogan's being run over. Oh, my God.
All right. Count it.
1, 2. The tank actually pinned Hogan. That's fantastic.
Oh, and he's... So, yeah, I love this thing. This thing is amazing.
Hogan just got obliterated by a tank. That's awesome. That's awesome. You know, I really don't know where to go after that, quite frankly.
The only thing that we can do is go home.
I guess we did. I guess we should. So, for Larry, this is Jim. Allies, see you next time.
We got long cords!